Man, don't meet me there, beat me there, man. Tighten up,
man. Suitcase this, my cell phone and my charger don't walk with a limp. Get it knocked off or missing, you gon' get it. Next time I see your ass, you gon' leave airless.
Y'all already know, man. Welcome back to Kfrogtv, man. Y'all hit that like, subscribe button, and hit the notification bell so you can see it first. Alright, so I had a couple people, message me or whatever. They wanted me to do a video on, what to do if someone tells you to tighten up when you're locked up. Alright? For those, that don't know, tighten up basically means like tighten up, like get there, like let's fight. Okay? Now, it's to the point to where in prison, when you're joking around with your homeboys, you don't say, man, tighten up, man. You say tighten down, man. That's a respect thing that everyone says in prison, so that way it doesn't get let off as a false message. Like you're not telling them to tighten up. All right? Like me and you could be, just talking shit back and forth, joking with each other, and I'd be like, man, tighten up, man. Tighten up, man. And now someone that knows you're affiliated, or one of your brothers or something like that, can see me and you talking like that, and it can get let off as a wrong message. They can run back and tell the rest of your brothers, oh, Frog was in there telling such and such to tighten up, wonder why he didn't get there. Or the other person could see it and go tell another person in another dorm, oh, shit, Frog was just in there telling brother tighten up. Now his brothers are questioning him, oh, why you let that man tell you tighten up? You didn't get there. Oh, you need to stop being so friendly with that person. It turns into things when you say the word tighten up. So in prison, when everyone was like talking amongst each other, they be like, man, tighten down, man. That's like saying, man, tighten down, man, get there. That's like a respectful way of like get there, but don't mean fighting. Tighten up means fight, okay? Like, man, tighten up. Okay, so I remember my juvenile program, which this is when I was like 13 years old, real young. When I was in my juvenile program, tighten up, is when I first started hearing tighten up, okay? I was locked up at Southern Glades Youth Camp, which was in Florida City, Homestead area, down south in Florida. And anytime we wanted to fight, someone would just say, hey, man, tighten up. That meant get out of sight. Because out of sight was where the washing machine and dryer was at, and there was no cameras there. Okay, so when they say tighten up, you got to get out of line of sight. Okay, that means that you go and you tighten up and you grid. There was no reason to put it on blast like, oh, bro, let's fight, let's do this, let's do that. It was always tighten up. Okay, so when I got to prison, I already knew what that meant. You feel me? Someone says, man, tighten up, that means let's grid. All right, now you never want to buck a call out, ever. If someone tells you to tighten up, you don't meet them there, you beat them there. That's simple. I'm from Broward County, where we always fought down here in Broward, okay? It was always hand-on-hand stuff growing up in my neighborhood. It's always been like that. Whether you go to the detention center, whether you go to school, whether you go to the park, whether you go, no matter where you go, the county, anywhere, it's always hand-to-hand down here in Broward County. We're not the hardest bumping people in the world, but one thing I can say about Broward County, boy, we've been hand-to-hand. We've been doing this, okay? So the way we look at it is win, lose, or draw, we gonna get there. We from Broward County. That's simple. Win, lose, or draw, we gonna get there. So if someone tells you to tighten up, like I said, you don't meet them there, you beat them there. Someone says, hey, man, tighten up. And wherever the spot is to grid, you get there before them and let them know it is what it is. It's just a fight. If you lose the fight, okay, it is what it is. People lose all the time, all right? So losing a fight isn't as bad as bucking a call out. I've seen people buck call outs, and it's like their whole manhood is like crushed. Like you're no longer looked at like a man. You were looked at like you're a bitch, boy. Like when you buck a call out because you're scared to get beat up, or even if you don't know how to fight, just you buck a call out, someone told you to tighten up and get there. You're scared or whatever, like it's the end of the world. When your adrenaline's pumping, your adrenaline's going in the middle of a fight, you're not even going to feel shit. You're not even going to feel them hits. Even if you get split open, you're not going to feel that shit till later, maybe tomorrow. You feel me? Your adrenaline's going. You don't be feeling stuff like that. So if you do, it's not as bad as it would be if your adrenaline wasn't going. See what I'm saying? But people will literally buck call outs when people tell them to tighten up, and it literally makes them look like, you are no longer looked at like a man. Especially if you're in prison, if you're in a manly place to where, everyone's here for breaking the law. Everyone's here because this is a man institution. This is where everyone's at, that committed crimes. You don't want to be put on the level of a sheep when you're surrounded by wolves. You feel me? So if someone tells you to tighten up, man, get there. That's simple. If you lose, you lose. People are respected more for losing than they are when they buck call-outs. Bucking call-outs is not in the category. And I said this before. Feel me? I'm from Davie. We never buck call-outs and we never buck showers. Straight up. Them the two things that fraud don't buck. I'll never buck a call-out and I'll never buck showers. That's simple. That should be in anybody's mind. Because you broke the law, you committed crimes against society and landed in prison. Okay? Which is where everyone who's committed crimes is. Everyone's here for committing a crime. So, you know, don't just be that gangster on the streets where you're known for fighting people on the streets. You beat up people in school when you were younger. Different things like that. And then you go to prison and you buck a call out. It ain't the end of the world. Put it this way. Even if it's a gang member and they tell you to tighten up. And you get there and then they end up dropping you on the floor. And now they all jump on you and they start kicking you and punching you and they jump you. Yeah, it sucks to lose a fight. It does. It sucks. And it hurts a little bit from time to time. But you're going to be more looked as real than the ones that jumped you. They're going to look more pyre for jumping you than you look for getting beat up. But if you buck a call out, if you don't get there when they tell you to tighten up, it doesn't matter if they were going to jump you. Because you literally backed out on the first step. You didn't even jump in the water. You're at the edge of the pool. Scared to jump in the water. That right there, it doesn't matter what happened in the pool when you get wet. You ain't even make it to getting wet. See what I'm saying? So, never buck a call out. Someone tells you to tighten up, like I said, get there. If they jump you, it just makes them look more pie. That's simple. If you lose, you lost. You learn from losing, not from winning. If someone told you they won every single fight in their life, they must have not fought that many times or fight someone that was bumping or competition. Because you do not learn from winning. You have to lose in order to learn from mistakes. Okay? And no matter who you are, I don't care if you're watching this video and you knocked out 20 people and you beat up 40 people. You ain't the hardest person, boy. There's always someone out there that can whoop you. Even no matter where it is around the world, there's always someone out there that can whoop you. Look at Floyd Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather right now holds it, boy. Ain't no one whooping Floyd Mayweather. It's him. He's the one. Blah, blah, you know what I'm saying? He's the top. That's him. There's someone out there that ain't been noticed yet. That probably don't even know they're bumping that serious. That hasn't even been discovered. That's probably not even in this country that will whoop Mayweather's ass probably. You feel me? He ain't the hardest man in the world. He's the hardest man known right now. But he isn't the hardest in the world. There's always going to be someone better time to time. Okay? So, for anyone who's watching this video that beat up everybody that ever fought or whatever, I'm not saying you can't fight. I'm not saying you fought people that don't know how to fight. But what I'm saying is there is someone out there bigger and badder than you. There always will be. All right? The message behind this video is someone tells you to tighten up, get there. That's simple. Because you don't want to be looked down on like you a do-boy, like you a bitch. Because once you buck a call out and you don't tighten up when they tell you to tighten up, you basically submitted. All right? And by you submitting, they could come up to you and throw a cell phone on your bed and tell you, look, boy, you a hold-down man now. Hey, these knives, man, put these shits in your mat. You feel me? Or here, bro, boom, hold this shit. And what can you really say to them now? They already know you submitted before. You bucked the call out. You're not living like that. So if you do try to say no, then what? They're going to just jump on your ass now because they know you're not living like that. You already showed them you weren't living like that. Okay? You have people that ain't living like that, that are not living like that, 100% not living like that, that are scared as hell, that refuse to buck a call out though, that will get in that paint not knowing how to fight or nothing and get their ass whooped. And they're respected more than someone who will not get in that paint. I've seen people who do not know how to fight that come up and question me and my dogs and shit. Oh, bro, but what should I do? Man, just get in there and grid. TOH. It ain't the end of the world, bro. You get that shit over with, bro. They gonna stop fucking with you once you get in there. Just show them. You know what I'm saying? People are going to want to not mess with you when they know you can't fight, but you got in there, though. They're going to be like, man, I'm going to have to beat this man up for nothing. Then someone that constantly acts like they living like that, but ain't got in there yet. People going to want to test that. They're going to want to constantly, man, get there. Tighten me up, man. Tighten me up. You know what I'm saying? And then if you are bumping, everyone that claims they're bumping, there's always someone in their mind that looks at you like, I'll whoop his ass. Like, I don't like him. Like, I want to whoop him. I want to whoop him. So if they see you beat up 2-3 different people, they just waiting for the time to be able to test you, to tell you to tighten them up, because, you know, everybody got that complex where they want to feel like they bigger and badder than the next man. So, you know he's bumping, you know he's gridding or whatever, you know, you can't wait till the day you got to whoop him, like, and it makes you feel good and accomplished because he beat up these 8 people. Now I'm going to whoop his ass. So now it's like, boy, that just shows I took his spot. I'm higher than you and you beat him up. You feel me? So, by you knowing how to bump in prison is a plus, but it's also, it puts you on the radar more because there's plenty of people that know how to bump. But if you don't know how to bump and you get in that paint, it ain't like everyone's gonna always make you get in that paint. They're gonna know they can whoop you, and they're gonna respect the fact that you went in the paint. You know what I'm saying? And they're gonna leave you alone 9 times out of 10. And they're gonna make sure no one fucks with you. They're gonna be like, boy, you ain't messing with him, bro. It ain't nothing, bro. Hell nah, bro. Because they know basically you're just trying to bully that person because you know he can't fight. You feel me? All because he knew he couldn't fight, but he got in that paint when they told him to tighten up. He was respected. You feel me? So it isn't that hard. You know, someone tells you to tighten up. Someone tells you to get there. Whatever it is, you get there. Like I said, it's just a loss if you lose. I'd rather, me personally, have losses on my belt than forfeits. That's simple. Like, to me, forfeits are worse than losses, which it is. Who wants to wave the flag or throw in a towel or any of that? No one. That's why when these fighters be in the ring and they coaches on the sideline throw the towels in or their flags and stuff like that while they're in the middle of the fight, and they look over like, man, why you threw this, and they start yelling at their coach. Even if it was time for them to, you know, they were getting banged up and the coach did it to stop them from getting the knockout. Or you know, they could tell they were losing. Sometimes their coach teams throw the towel in. You feel me? Just like the last fight that what his name is, Fury. Tyson Fury, the last time he fought, when he fought the one dude, when he fought the big black guy, that guy's coach threw the towel in. When he started yelling at his coach, why you throw? You see what I'm saying? But because he know Tyson Fury was banging him, he was whooping him, he saved him, basically. You feel me? The reason he was mad at the coach, though, is because that looks so much more like a, you know, throwing in the towel is worse than a knockout to me. You know, like, to the world it is. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's why someone tells you to tighten up, man, you get there. It isn't the end of the world. That's simple. You go there, you get in a fight, he told you to tighten up, you get there, boom. You lose, boom. That day, they'll be talking about it. The next day, they'll be talking about it. And 3 to 4 or 5 days, they're not even talking about it no more because so many things happen in prison that there's a new topic now. A new topic. That shit it happens, and sometimes it happens and people don't even talk about it. It deads that day. That's how the drama stops in prison. You get in a fight with someone, once y'all are done gridding, whether I whoop his ass or he whoops my ass, once you're done, that's a dead situation. Until y'all end up beefing down the line again. You tell him, boy, you know what I did to your ass last time? Get in there. Tighten up. You feel me? Or he be like, oh, you know what I did to you? You don't want this shit? Tighten up. And you still get in there. You know, be one of them people, even if they whoop you, they got to show you. That's simple. It don't matter if you whoop me 5 times, you're going to have to show me all times. That's how it is. That's how I was raised. It don't matter if they whoop you, they still going to have to show you again. It ain't like you going to talk crazy about me or you going to try me any kind of way now because you beat me up. It ain't none of that. You're going to have to beat me up again. You're going to have to show me again. And it's going to be like this anytime you get out of line. Anytime you get out of line, I'm going to sit here and run my mouth to you like we never fought before. Even if you've whooped me before, I'm going to run my mouth to you like we never fought before. And I'm going to make you show me every single time. We ain't thinking about the past fights. We think about what's going to happen this time. And I'm going to give it to your ass even worse than I did last time. That's how you're supposed to be. Never let someone tell you to tighten up and you do not get there. That right there is like saying, you know, to everything you stand for. Everything that makes you feel like a man goes right out the window. Me, my dad is gone. My dad is not here with me. And I know my dad ain't raised no one to be soft. He ain't raised me to be pie. And he damn sure ain't raised me to buck or call out if someone tells me to tighten up. You feel me? So, in my mind, when someone would say something or do something, in my mind, I would think my old boy in heaven right now. I'd be like, man, they got my old boy fucked up. Because my old boy ain't raised me like that. So I would get there. You feel me? That's simple. Like, that's what it is. It's going to make you, if you think of the things that you know you stand up for and you represent, and things that you pursue to, you know, like put on for, you think of that when it comes to a fighting situation, I bet you man up and you get in there. Don't think about, oh, I might lose, or he's big, or I seen him beat up this person. You don't look at it like that. Look at what you stand for. And if you got kids, look at it like, damn, bro. You feel me? Man, I got kids, bro. I be damn, I look like a bitch to them. You know, anything that you put in your mind that you know you mean something to, anything that you looked up to as being Superman, or anyone that looks up to you like Superman, you put that in your head when it comes to someone trying you, and I guarantee you man up and you get in that paint. You might not win them all, but you are going to overcome the fear of tightening up. You're going to overcome the fear of that. So someone tells your ass tighten up, get in there. That's how I look at it. Okay? I've seen plenty of people, you know, when I was in G-Dorm at Calhoun, I was in G2, which was gangland. They called it gangland. Everybody there was affiliated. I wasn't affiliated, though. But everyone there was affiliated. And when I first came in, you know, my dog was a gang member. You feel me? And when I first came in that dorm, he pressed me and was like, hey, what's up, bro? What you bang? I told him I'm unaffiliated, bro. I don't bang. He's like, oh, all right. And walked off. Couple minutes later, someone else came up to me. Hey, what's up, bro? What you is, boy? What you claim? I don't claim shit. I'm a neutron. Oh, okay. And then boom, they try to press me into, oh, you got to pay rent or this and that, or you got to check in and all this other shit. And I laughed and told him I'll fight. And then he was like, oh, we could do that too. So I ended up getting into some situations when I first got there because I refused to bow down because I knew my old boy ain't raised me like that. Now, by me bucking like that and me getting in there with them and gridding and showing them, like, boy, this white boy gonna grid, boy, you tripping. You gonna have to whoop my ass, bro, before I just bow down and submit like that. By me doing that, that showed them, boy, this white boy cool as hell. You know, that it didn't show them I was cool as hell yet, but it showed them like, okay, we got respect for the white boy. But then as they started knowing me as I was in there for, you know, a month later, 2-3 months later, everybody was like, boy, we fuck with this white boy. And then when new people would come in the dorm, we seen 75% of them submit and break it off. That dorm was a dorm where people would come in and literally, to live there, would pay rent. They would literally pay rent. I had all the white boys wanting to come up to me and be cool with me. They wanted it because they knew all the people in there from the different races had respect for me because I gritted. I was the only white boy in there they had respect for, that didn't have to pay rent, that ate good with them. That's simple. Like, straight up. And then it came to the point to where telling people to tighten up wasn't nothing. So you go from being the one that being told tighten up to the one that tells people tighten up. You feel me? And once you get over the fear of, you know, getting beat up or whatever it is, as soon as you feel like someone's playing with you, you gonna tell them, man, tighten up. And then you gonna notice how it shifted. At first, you didn't really want to be a fighter. You know, at first, you know, you had fear in your mind about fighting. And first couple times, you was a little iffy about it or whatever, but you still got in there. And now you find it to the point where you feel like someone played with you. You the one telling them, man, get there, tighten up. And just you overcome that. You know what I'm saying? And it's better to, you know, overcome the fear of fighting than to not overcome it, because you never know when that may be needed. You know, some people live on the streets and ain't had to fight a day of their life. You get what I'm saying? And some people live in rough areas to where you had to fight every day growing up. Now, you could also live in an area where you never had to fight a day of your life. Never got in a situation a day of your life. But it's better to know how to fight, or be better to know how to protect yourself, because that day might come. What if someone comes and runs all up in your shit, or tries to break in your house and hurt you and your family or something like that? You never been in that type of situation. What are you going to freeze up? You see? Most likely you could freeze up because you never been in that type of situation, so you wasn't expecting it. You don't know what to do now that you're in that serious situation. So you knowing, even if you don't know how to fight, but you knowing how to overcome the fear of getting in there and it being a fucked up situation and a bad ending on your part, it could come in handy if you find yourself in a messed up situation. I'd rather not have any fights in my whole life, but know how to get myself in the situation. I mean, how to protect myself in a situation and to hold and stand my ground, than to be someone that gets into a fight every single day but never has to use it anywhere else. See what I'm saying? So it isn't a bad thing when someone tells you to tighten up. Just overcome the fear of losing. If you overcome the fear of losing and you just think about the things that make you great in life, think about the things that you want to see you achieve, and 9 times out of 10 you will do better in that paint. You would do better in the grid, and that's it. Like I said, it's always better to get beat up than it is to throw in the flag and forfeit and buck a call out. So if someone tells you to tighten up, man, you just make sure you do what you got to do, and you get there and you defend yourself and you stand up for yourself. Because everywhere around the world, I know, not just in Florida, I know on a day-to-day basis, there's people being beat up. There's people bucking call-outs that are getting their shit taken, that are being extorted after that are being placed into hold-down man positions and all types of shit because they refuse to defend themselves or refuse to get there when someone says tighten up. Feel me? But anyways, that's all I'm going to speak on this topic. It's not that long of a video, but like I said, people, if someone tells you to tighten up, win, lose, or draw, get there. Straight up. I'm from Broward County, and that's all we ever knew. Win, lose, or draw, we don't care. You whoop us, you're going to have to whoop us again. Till next time, this Frog.